Good morning, should I say good afternoon. Hope you're having a great Friday. It's Bryan Mays here, kind of taking over the KVUE accounts for just a little bit to talk about our initiative taking place today, a big push right here in Austin. It's all Together ATX, and what it is, it's a philanthropic, excuse me, I need my nap, a philanthropic organization, group of people and organizations that are coming together to raise money for a lot of people that are going to need help over these next several weeks and months. Of course, we know COVID-19 and this pandemic has really disrupted everything from our personal lives to our work lives. A lot of people struggling, maybe out of work because of this. So Altogether ATX is a community-led group that's going to help out organizations that help out other people, raising funds and distributing those funds to local organizations that provide those critical services that, of course, a lot of people are going to need. Now, the Austin Community Foundation and the United Way, a huge part of this Altogether ATX program, along with government officials, business leaders across the community, keeping things focused on helping Austinites. Of course, all this money, now here's the thing, all the money that's raised through this really effort by a lot of different people, media entities, again, individuals from top to bottom. 100% of all the donations will go straight to the organizations that are going to need it to help out people. 100% of this money will stay local. 100% of it will go to help those people who need it the most. Of course, you can donate to Altogether ATX in a lot of different ways. The main way, of course, go to the website, Altogether ATX, Altogether ATX. .org, and there are a lot of different ways there. Now, we did have opportunity to speak with Austin Mayor Steve Adler earlier this week, and he, of course, commented on a lot of things, a lot of topics that are on people's minds right now, from business to the healthcare industry in Austin, and specifically about Altogether ATX and what an organization and group of people like this can do to help Austinites in need. Let's listen real quick to what the mayor had to tell me earlier this week about all. Okay, Mayor Adler, let's start with this. What are the biggest needs that you've seen in the community right now that a fundraising effort like Altogether ATX could help address at this time?
Well, I tell you, you'd be hard pressed to come up with one greatest need. The needs are so great in so many places. Probably the greatest need are for the people that have the least measure of social safety net to help protect them. We have a lot of service workers in our city, a lot of construction workers, people that are out of work right now. Not sure where the next paycheck's going to come from, not sure where the grocery money or the rent money comes from. So I think that the greatest need right now is to help make sure that people have just really those most basic things: food, medicine, housing. That's the most immediate and greatest need. But boy, I tell you, there are a lot of needs lining up behind those.
What is your message to those that are now unemployed, who've been laid off, maybe struggling to pay the bills now as a result of this?
I want the people that have been laid off and are struggling to know that they are top of mind, that right now most of the immediate response effort is being directed first to keep people safe while this virus is happening. But at the same time, recognizing that there's an economic crisis. At the same time, we have the virus crisis. So I want them to know that Workforce Solutions has stepped into gear to help make it easier to get unemployment money that's available. The city stepping forward to create some short-term loans for businesses to be able to get from here to there. We're going to be receiving a lot of money from the federal government, and we are putting in the processes now to be able to receive that money and get that out to the community. There are a lot of people, including organizations like Altogether ATX and Stand With Austin, that are raising money from the community to fund the nonprofits and the social agencies that are on the front line doing this work for a long time, but now in a very critical way.
Mayor Adler, there are a lot of people in the healthcare industry, grocery stores that are still doing a really great job working long, hard hours. What do you say to them in this time?
Boy, I tell you, this whole community has a real debt and we need to be real appreciative of the folks in the grocery stores, the folks that are doing the essential work in our city that can't stay at home like most of us are doing, I hope. Most all of us are doing, I hope. But those folks that are out stocking the shelves right now in grocery stores and people providing those services, they are our economic first responders. And while we have the police and EMS and fire dealing with the health challenges, the folks that are out there otherwise keeping the city going, I just want you to know how appreciative this whole community is for the work that you're doing.
Mayor Adler, how are the first responders, the police officers, the firefighters, the EMTs in Austin now? What is the attitude like for those essential workers in Austin?
You know, again, you know, we have some of the finest in the world working here in the city of Austin in our police and fire and EMS. Again, these are people that are taking personal risks in order to keep the whole community safe. It's also the healthcare folks in the hospitals and in our clinics, in working with our physicians. These are folks that are taking risks for the benefit of all of us. They're trying to make sure that everyone who's sick gets taken care of. As you might imagine, they're tired now. And it's just beginning. We need to take care of them the same way they're taking care of us. We need to help protect them. They are people too, and they have families. And the work they're doing could potentially be putting their families at risk. What we can do to best protect them is stay at home. The best protection and the best thing we can be doing for our first responders and frontline healthcare workers is staying home so that we don't have a surge with this virus.
You mentioned a bit of it earlier, but are there specific things that people that might be recently unemployed that really don't know what to do? Is there a specific one or two things they can do now to try and get back on track?
Well, I would have anybody in this city that either has been laid off or is about to be laid off or furloughed, or a company that's looking at having to furlough or lay off some people, to reach out to Workforce Solutions. They have some resources to be able to help with that. They can advise and counsel both businesses and employees on the best way to go about that. For example, there are significant advantages for workers, I believe, in most cases, if they're furloughed as opposed to whether they're laid off. So there are ways that we can help one another. And then I would reach out to the social service organizations that exist in town, like United Way and others, because they have support that they're providing to people, and the rest of us in the community need to backfill that support to make sure that those organizations on the ground can continue helping people.
Just a couple of more questions in this little part, Mayor Adler. Next would be, we've seen some things going on to help the homeless, the underserved in the area. Is that a specific area of focus now, knowing that they don't have access to a lot of the things most of us have?
You know, the teams that are working incredibly hard in this virus response are working on the gamut of issues. But one of the most important ones are how are we dealing and providing for the people that are most susceptible in our community. Those would be older people, like in nursing homes and the like. And certainly the population of people that are experiencing homelessness are significantly at risk. So a lot of the real first and immediate attention has been spent on making sure that we have plans and opportunities for those two communities. We're setting up special nursing home facilities so that in case somebody in one of those homes should become a confirmed positive, we can take them out of that nursing home and provide them care, keep the rest of the people safe. There are real controls on who gets into those nursing homes. No visitation now. You should be Skyping with any loved ones you have in a nursing home and not visiting. For the folks that are experiencing homelessness, we also have isolation facilities that have been set up so that when we have a positive, and we had one in that community, we were able to move them and isolate them, and also some of the people that they had come into contact with, so that they get to quarantine for the period of time, so we can see whether or not they were something that got that virus. So we're doing everything that we can to focus on those two populations because they are most at risk.
Finally, Mayor Adler, have you seen or heard from people about specific individuals or businesses going above and beyond now, doing things maybe that not has been asked of them, but that they have volunteered to help out in ways that really touched you?
Boy, there are so many people that are standing themselves right now. If we're going to do the social distancing that's required in our city and protect our first responders and the community generally, if we're going to stop that surge from happening, it's only because people are going above and beyond what it is that has to happen. Texas Roadhouse CEO gave up his salary and paid bonuses to his hourly employees. I think Odd Duck restaurant has closed down, but is providing meals to folks that need it. I think the sister restaurant, the Sour Duck's still open, but the Odd Duck now is using its facilities and its assets in order to make sure that people get a chance to meet. Tito's, we're all sequestered at home, probably drinking a little Tito's, but they have converted some of their manufacturing to making the hand sanitizers that it's really important for people to have. Austin Couch Potatoes, manufacturing clothes, now making doctors' gowns. And the list goes on and on, and I would urge people to reach out to me and let me know who's doing that kind of work so that I can make sure that I celebrate it and highlight it.
Great to hear from Mayor Steve Adler again this week. Of course, this All Together ATX fund is going to help a great number of people right here in Central Texas. And I want to give you, before I leave, the updated tally. And we did get some big news. The Michael and Susan Dell Foundation matching up to $250,000. So that's already pushed it to $1,669,561. That's as of noon, so that number no doubt going to continue to grow. It's called All Together ATX. The funds, 100% of the money donated will go to help people right here in Central Texas, right here in Austin. Now, you can donate in a myriad of different ways, several ways. Of course, online at alltogetheratx.org. That's a pretty easy way to do it. But you want me to tell you an even easier way to do it? Just text Together ATX. That's all one word, Together ATX, to 474747. How easy is that? All Together ATX is the organization we're talking about, and Together ATX is the text message. Again, 474747. If you can give $5, that's great. If you can give more, that's even better. But every little bit will count, and every little bit will go to help Austinites in need during this very difficult time. We're going to have more, of course, throughout the day, both online and on the air at KVUE News 5, 6, and 10 tonight. And of course, look for some more KVUE people on your social media channels throughout the day as well. We're going to be here to remind you about All Together ATX. It's a wonderful, wonderful fundraiser going on now. Today's a big day, so we hope you will help out. Again, one more time, text Together ATX 474747. I'm Bryan Mays. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, and thanks for giving to All Together ATX.